Joining us, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, Democratic Congressman Jim Himes of Connecticut. Congressman, thanks so much. So Todd Blanche said, of course she would be there. Why would she be there?
Yeah, no, it's shocking. I mean, the last two things he said were insane, right? It is not part of her job to participate in domestic law enforcement actions. In fact, it is really critical that the surveillance powers, that the capabilities and the operational capability of the United States intelligence community, which I have a pretty significant role in overseeing, never, ever get turned inside the borders of this country against Americans. You know, it's funny. He said, oh, she's an important part of this administration. That's odd because, you know, we've been talking about Venezuela and seeing presentations on Venezuela for the last 2 months or so. And Tulsi Gabbard has been nowhere to be found. So, look, I think, Katie, at the end of the day, this is one of two things, or both of two things. Number one, Tulsi Gabbard trying to get back into the good graces of Donald Trump. And number two, and this is maybe more concerning, you know, this administration is about making us comfortable with the unthinkable. And, you know, guys kitted up like they're fast roping into Fallujah to run around our city streets used to be unthinkable. And I fear that this may be an effort to say, well, no, it's, hey, it's just the CIA and NSA operating inside the borders of this country. Don't worry too much about it, which is basically Todd Blanche's message.
Okay, so but help anyone who might not know the reason why that's so significant. Help explain why the CIA and the DNI don't operate within this country.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just one of the foundational rules of all of those entities. And for obvious reasons, right? The NSA has absolutely unrivaled surveillance power. The CIA has paramilitaries who, you know, come out of our special operations communities, which do, you know, crazy and secret things abroad. It is absolutely essential that none of those powers and none of those authorities ever get turned against the American people. In some sense, that's why the Senate and House Intelligence Committees exist. And, you know, again, my suspicion is that this was just Tulsi Gabbard making a, you know, a sort of desperate attempt to be relevant once more to her mentor and benefactor, Donald Trump. But it sends just a, you know, it just sends a terrible signal about you know, what this administration may choose to do down the road in the service of either promoting conspiracy theories about our elections or actually intervening in our elections.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get more on the CIA and the problems there and why you might not want the CIA conducting operations or surveillance or the DNI in this country, read The Mission, which you have on your bookshelf behind you by Tim Weiner. It's a great description of the agency. But back to the topic, the DNI has been, Tulsi Gabbard has been in the past, you know, a conspiracy theorist regarding the Russia investigation, but also regarding 2020. I think we have this soundbite. Do we have the soundbite of what she said the other day about the burn bags? Yeah, the cabinet meeting. Here's Tulsi Gabbard with Donald Trump at the cabinet meeting back in August.
You've also found many bags of information. I think they call them burn bags. They're supposed to be burned and they didn't get burned, having to do with how corrupt the 2020 election was. And when will that all come out?
Mr. President, I will be the first to brief you once we have that information collected. But you're right, we are finding documents literally tucked away in the back of safes in random offices in these bags and in other areas, which again speaks to the intent of those who are trying to hide the truth from the American people.
Have you been able to get any more detail on that claim?
No, because they're, you know, look, Katie, I'd be shocked if anything they were there. And I'm a little shocked that Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, would say that people are trying to hide the truth. This to a president who lies the moment he opens his mouth in the morning right until he goes to sleep. Truth is not at a premium here. You know, this Georgia thing, I just sort of can't believe we're talking about it because every single court of law, every single investigation, every single Republican Secretary of State just said there is nothing here. But because Donald Trump is so broken that he can't accept the fact that he lost the 2020 election, Tulsi Gabbard, like a dutiful acolyte, is going to continue to spin, or at least sort of nod, wink, wink, at these conspiracy theories and keep people all ginned up, even though when she looks at whatever bag it was that she found somewhere, she's going to discover what we all know, which is that there's no there there.
All right, Congressman Himes, really good to have you. Thank you very